Hi, we're Tom and Angel. After living in BC for 2 years and exploring as much of Western Canada as we could, borders finally started opening up again. So we packed up all our stuff, booked a one-way flight to the farthest place we could think of to start our slow travel life for the next 2 years. Last minute before we leave, I'm so nervous. And this is everything that we're taking with us. This plan took months of preparation. We've never done anything so nerve-wracking, yet so exciting in our life. Because I'm stressed.
Yeah, you're freaking out.
And after 3 flights over the longest 42-hour travel day we've ever had. Wow, I'm so tired. I can't do any math right now. It was all worth it to finally be able to say, it's a beautiful day in Western Australia.
And we're in Perth. This morning we're exploring Kings Park, which is this massive park on the north side of Perth. It's over 400 hectares, making it one of, if not the largest city park in the world. The park itself dates back over 100 years, originally called Perth Park, and then in 1901 it was renamed for the ascension of King Edward VII. Since then it has been a bushland and parkland reserve. It's full of Western Australia fauna and flora, and it is absolutely gorgeous to walk through.
Kings Park is an incredible space where you can spend the whole day. There's so much to see and do here. There's a botanical garden with over 3,000 species of plants from Western Australia. I'm absolutely loving seeing all of the different plants. It feels like we are in a Dr. Seuss book. It seems otherworldly. This one's called Emu Bush. But it doesn't look like an emu at all. Unlike that other bush that we saw that did look like an emu. There's kilometers of trails. There's a war memorial. There are tons of lookouts. And the green space is incredible. There are tons of families and dogs that come by and enjoy the park, especially on this beautiful sunny day. And the fun doesn't stop at night because Kings Park is also a concert venue. They have an outdoor grassy amphitheater where people bring chairs and picnic, and it's such a special place to enjoy live music under the night sky. And we're also really enjoying the views over Swan River, overlooking South Perth and the city skyline itself.
Kings Park has by far the nicest view of Elizabeth Quay. The modern waterfront attraction, it's a pedestrian area and it's situated right at the bottom of the Perth Central Business District, right where the city meets the Swan River. At Elizabeth Quay, you can find parks and restaurants and patios, even a fleet of ferries that'll take you as close as across the river, or if you want, all the way out to the Indian Ocean. It's one of the most recent additions to the Perth waterfront, and people seem to love it. It's still under construction a little bit, but already you can see lots of parks and people just enjoying the outdoor space. Even where we are right now is part of a multi-use trail that actually goes all the way around this area of the water. So you could make your way from here at Elizabeth Quay to Kings Park, over to South Perth, and then all the way back in one uninterrupted loop.
Walking along Elizabeth Quay, we find ourselves at the Perth Bell Tower, one of the most iconic buildings in Perth and in Western Australia. This tower was built to house the St. Martin's in the Fields bells, which were gifted to commemorate Australia's bicentenary in 1988. The bells originally came from a church in London, England, and they were built in 1725. So they're actually older than Australia. To this day, the bells are still rung, but they only ring on Thursdays and Sundays between noon and 1 p.m. So, through the magic of editing, it's Thursday at noon and we're back to hear the bells ring. It's kind of loud around here, so I really hope that this audio turns out okay, but we're gonna try. The bell tower is not one of, if not the largest musical instrument in the world, and it's not automated. Only one of the bells is automated, and that's just because it's 6.5 tons. So the rest of the bells are all rung by hand, and that's why it's only rung at specific times in the week. And they're rung by hand by humans who are volunteers and members of the St. Martin's Society of Change Ringers. Yeah, I got that right. And they learn how to ring it properly because it's not just like a regular bell, it's a cool bell. It has like a wheel in it. So you can kind of think of it like a musical performance where there's people up there right now playing the bells, which I think is pretty cool. There's no shortage of cool and unique plants in Australia. One that I'm seeing a lot is called kangaroo paw, and it comes in a bunch of different colors, and they look like these little, well, paws, fingers of the kangaroo. So that's how it got its name, and it looks really cool. Perth is an incredibly walkable city, so we're taking our time strolling along and viewing all of the different buildings, from the government buildings to the churches. Admiring all the different architecture from all the different times, because there are some buildings here that date back to the 1800s. And of course, we have the very modern buildings that are built today. So there's a great mix of different architecture, and we're just spending some time admiring it.
Speaking of interesting buildings, you need to check out Ye London Court. If you're walking down Hay Street, you can't help but notice it. It was actually gifted to the city and built custom. That's why it doesn't match anything else in the city. It feels like you're in medieval London, doesn't it? Like, I definitely didn't expect to find this here. One thing about the city that I find really cool, they have this section right in the heart of the central business district that is completely dedicated to pedestrians. It is 2 full city blocks that no cars can go on, and they're used as a year-round outdoor mall. This is especially exciting to me as a Canadian because in Canada we don't have the weather for year-round outdoor anything. So I think it's really cool that any time of the year you can be out here in the open air and window shop while taking a stroll outside. If you look at old pictures of the city, you can pretty easily tell that this area has always been the commercial center of the city. It's always been full of shops and restaurants and cafes and stuff. And in the 1970s, the city actually removed cars from these streets so that it could be just a giant outdoor mall. It's really cool. One of the benefits of having an outdoor mall is that even though the shops are starting to close up for the day, the outdoor spaces and Forrest Square, which is right in the heart of it, can be used for outdoor events, activities, and like tonight, a night market. Every Friday in the summer, Forrest Square behind me hosts the Twilight Market, which is basically like a hawker food truck market with live music and entertainment, and it's right downtown, right across from the train station, so super convenient too. It's a great place to try different cuisines from Australia and around the world, hang out and enjoy live music. Right across the street from Forrest Square is Perth Station. It's the central train station for the entire city. It connects all the suburbs to downtown. And just kind of next to that is Yagen Square, which is a newer development downtown. It's an outdoor mixed-use space with restaurants and shops similar to this, but it also has a concert venue space. It looks really cool, and tonight there's actually a free concert going on in the square there that we wanted to go see, so let's go.
That was so much fun. Thank you for finding that. Really cool that they have these events going on in town and in venues like this, as beautiful as this, on a night as beautiful as this, in this really nice pedestrian area. Now we're gonna head just a little bit further north to the Perth Cultural Centre. The Perth Cultural Centre is the precinct where we can find the State Theatre Centre, the Art Gallery, the State Library, just to name a few things. And most notably, it also houses the Western Australia Museum, Boola, Bardip, which is what we're checking out right now. The featured exhibit right now is Dinosaurs of Patagonia. And if you know us, you'll know that we're huge nerds who love dinosaurs. And it actually happens to be the last day that they have it on. So let's skedaddle and check out some dinosaurs.
Tell me your impressions of dinosaur skin.
Feels like the floor of a gym.
It's ridiculous how many dinosaurs we've seen this year. I've seen more dinosaurs this year than I've seen my entire life.
It's amazing that you've seen them in real life because they've been dead. Okay, Emma, why is it so cute? Look at his eyelashy eyes, so cute. He's smiling. That was nice.
That was so cool.
Well, the exhibit didn't take too long, so now we're going to explore the rest of the museum, which is here all year round.
Let's go.
There are 3 floors of permanent exhibits at Boola, Bardip, and they're all about Western Australia. The exhibits range from the geology and landscape, the unique weather systems that occur. They talk about the Aboriginal people, their traditions, their cultural significance even to this day, and how they contribute to the modern developments that go on. There's a whole floor about wildlife, just the animals, like that bird. They cover the desert animals, extinct animals, water animals, all the fauna of Western Australia. It talks about the people and how everything was developed all really within the last 100 years or so, and you learn about how it was so hard to get to Western Australia and how they pushed so hard for colonies and establishment. So everything from its origins up to where it is today, including the progression and evolution of the animals and the land and the people throughout that time. And of course it covers how Australia and Western Australia has a place in the rest of the world and how they contribute on a world stage. That was a lot to say, only because there was a lot to see. It's a great place to spend a day. It's a place where you can spend a lot of time or even come back.
When we were buying our tickets, Angel pointed out that there was actually an option to buy a membership, which was basically the same price as a day pass, but also got us not only unlimited access to this museum, but also access to the Maritime Museum in Fremantle. We're here for a bit. It made sense to buy the pass.
And if you're really into museums and get information overload very quickly, then you can get the membership and just come back another day and see it all.
It's a great museum.
Yeah.
The Boola Bardip was an incredible place to learn about the history of Western Australia. This whole precinct, this whole cultural district here is a really cool and concise place to experience all parts of Western Australian culture, except for sports culture. If you want to experience that, you'll have to come here to Perth Stadium, also known as Optus Stadium. Let me tell you, when we were driving in from the airport, it was impossible to miss this thing. It is huge, it is beautiful. Cricket isn't a traditional sport in Canada, and Angel and I have never even been to a game. But when we got here, we found out that the T20 World Cup was being hosted at Perth Stadium, and that is a big deal. So we figured Australia's playing Sri Lanka tonight. Why not go and check out our first cricket game on the world stage and see why the sport is loved by billions of people around the world. I'm so excited to be here right now.
Go Australia! We are so glad we studied up and watched a couple of YouTube videos beforehand because we were able to understand exactly what was going on in the game and wholeheartedly cheer on with everybody else. You are actually allowed to bring in outside food to the stadium, and in Australia, a meat pie and a beer at the game is kind of your soda and hot dog.
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks?
Yeah, peanuts and Cracker Jacks type of situation. So I realized that if we buy a box from the grocery store, it is like a quarter of the price. So that's what we did. We brought our own. We did bring Mrs. Max meat pies, which is what they sell here. So let's tuck in. Let's try our first Australian meat pies. Ready? Boop.
And that's 149 during the 14th over.
Delicious.
Yeah, it is really tasty, really delicious, really meaty. Got all beef. I like it. Dude, this place is huge. We're just walking around to see all sides of the pitch, and I think this is one of the biggest stadiums, if not the biggest, that we have ever been to. It holds around 60,000 people, and it was built in 2018, so everything is brand spanking new. Is this the biggest stadium you've been to?
I think this is the biggest stadium I've been to. What does the Sky Dome seat?
Like 53,000.
Yeah, so this is the biggest stadium I've ever been to.
Yeah, pretty big, but still only the third largest stadium in Australia. That was so much fun. It was so amazing to watch Australia win.
It was so sad to watch Australia lose.
It's honestly so different when you're on home turf and the home team is playing. Like, the crowds are just amazing. The energy is so fun. I highly recommend checking out a cricket game, even if you're not a cricket fan. Also really appreciate that Perth, aka the transit system. When you purchase a ticket, you get free transit to and from the game. There's free buses, free shuttles, trains, and that's what we're taking to and from. So consider it. So awesome. Now we're walking down this beautiful lit pathway, and we're gonna make our way to Matagarup Bridge. It's a beautiful pedestrian bridge that connects the Perth Stadium across the Swan River to the city center. And at nighttime, it is lit up really beautifully too. So we're gonna go see it all lit up. One of the tourist activities I saw is you can actually zip line on this bridge over the river, which looks pretty cool. And I think you can probably only do it during the day.
Should hope so.
Yeah. The Matagarup Bridge was also built to connect the stadium to the city, and it was specifically built for pedestrian use after games like today. I'll admit, I didn't have really any expectations of Perth when we came, but I have been thoroughly delighted by the city. It was such a joy to live in and be in for the past 4 weeks. If you're thinking about going to Western Australia, do it. That's it from us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow along on more Australian adventures, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna sneeze from the sun. Just. There it is.
Look at all these chickens.
Keep adding syllables.
What?
Bicentennial.
I said it. Was that wrong?
No.
Bicentennial. Ugh. Okay, I already said it. Okay.